Hey, yo, we back, everybody, with another episode of You Guessed It. Always everything with Squalor. Where we discuss everything, always, no topics, it's off limits. I don't give a fuck who get mad. I don't give a fuck who get glad. It don't matter, because we gonna speak nothing but the truth, nigga. If the truth upsets you, then you need to find somewhere where they lying to your ass. Because I'm not going to lie to you. As far as my best of my knowledge, I'm not lying to you. I'm not ever going to lie to you. Now, if I'm wrong, correct me so I can be true. You feel me? Do not feel like you can't correct me, nigga, because, nigga, we all human. We don't know every goddamn thing. And my sources could be fucked up. You might have the right source. Let me know. What I'm saying. Don't be scared to say, nigga, you wrong. This what it really is. Because I'll come back on here and correct my goddamn self. I'll come back on and look. Somebody brought it to my attention that I was wrong as a bitch. Oh yeah, I'm that nigga. I don't give a fuck. You can tell me I'm wrong, and if I'm wrong, I'm gonna correct it. If you tell me I'm wrong, and I look into it, and I'm actually right, now we got a debate on our hands, and I love that too. So either way we go. We open mind, we peaceful, and we talking the truth. Now today's episode it's cool. It ain't controversial. It's very conspiracy. You know, the vibe is there because, you know, it's a myth. Mythological creatures is what we talking about today. Specifically, the mythological creature we talking about today is mermaids. Are they real? Are they fake? What's the deal with them? Can they communicate with people? I don't know. But we about to see if we gonna come up with a conclusion today. Let's see what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go and I'm gonna read a few testimonials about people who have actually seen mermaids, who have actually encountered mermaids, who have actually experienced mermaids, seen, heard, caught one maybe, I don't know. But I'm about to read some testimonials, and at the end of the show, based on the testimonials, I'm gonna let y'all know what I think. Now, I'm gonna leave a poll here, so y'all can let me know what y'all think. I'm gonna try to put a poll on here. I really don't know how that's gonna work out, but if I see y'all on there, that means I know it works. If I don't see y'all, something fucked up. But we working. We gonna figure it out together. This the beginning. It ain't never gonna stop. So that's what it is today. Let's get right to it. I think I'm gonna light a J for this one. I'm gonna go ahead and smoke a J with this one, because these testimonials is crazy as shit. I'm just warning y'all. These testimonials is wild. Just imagine if you was in some of these people's shoes. Yeah, the J is lit. So for centuries, all through history, people been seeing mermaids, right? People been seeing mermaids all over the place. Some people say they're real. Some people say they're not real. I'm here today to drop my conclusion based on these first-hand encounters with mermaids. Now, I'm gonna let you know some of these encounters is funny as shit. Some of them just sound off the wall, but most of them, to me anyway, I have a different type of sense of humor, but they funny to me. So, without further ado, I always say that I'm gonna come up with a new slogan. Without further ado, everybody say that shit. Now I need to sing or something else. Don't worry, I got a jingle coming. We about to turn this bitch up. Always everything was Squalor, about to be the house party of the motherfucking. When I come on, y'all gonna play me for the whole family. You hear me? You hear me, man? That's how they say it in the South. You hear me, man? So let's get into it. First testimonial, 1943, Key Islands. During World War II, Japanese soldiers were stationed in a 555 square mile area in the Key Islands in Indonesia. There, they had some strange encounters with mermaids during the 1940s. The Japanese. And you know, I believe everybody's testimony because I don't have no reason not to believe them niggas. And who am I to tell them what the fuck they saw? That's how I look at this shit. So, I may not believe about mermaids sometimes. Like, if I don't believe it, but if I hear your testimony, I'm going to believe you. I'm going to believe you saw something. I'm not going to discredit you. You know what I'm saying? So, don't discredit these people. Take it with a grain of look. It is what it is. You can't tell them what they saw. And I believe this one more because 1943, what the fuck reason they really got a lie for back then? There wasn't no going viral back then. There wasn't no clout to be chasing. But anyway, local villagers were familiar with these creatures and called them orang-utan, which translates to the man-fish. The creatures were described as being around 150 centimeters tall, having spikes on the spine, shoulders, and neck. They were said to have pink, salmon-colored skin and a mouth that resembled a carp. Oh, shit. I told you I'm hitting this day. No, I apologize. Rather than having a fishtail. So they had a mouth like a carp. Rather than having a fishtail, these creatures had long arms and frog-like legs, both of which had talons at the end. What the fuck? That ain't what I'm used to hearing about. That's what y'all used to hearing about? That shit sound ugly as shit. The Japanese soldiers recorded many different sightings, saying they even saw some on land suggesting they were amphibious, but mostly seemed at home in the water. One instance, a troop of soldiers claimed to be exploring some unseen land and came upon a natural lagoon. Oh shit, now see the lagoon, that's where they be at. That's where I heard they be at. Everything seemed normal until there was sudden thrashing in the water. Suddenly, orangutan, the mermaid, jumped out of the water onto a nearby rock. It turned and faced the soldiers to let out a gurgling, burping noise that didn't seem to be friendly. Then they saw another creature moving smoothly in the water toward them as fast as any fish would. Not knowing the intention of the creatures, the soldiers started shooting at the rocks and into the water, only to have the creatures disappear from view. He said the motherfuckers had legs, bro. Hold on. He said the motherfuckers had legs and could jump and walk around and shit. Are y'all hearing that? Y'all heard that too, right? A sergeant named Mr. Taro spoke to the villagers and requested if any of the orangutan were captured, dead or alive, to contact him immediately. It was soon after that the chief summoned the general and, to his astonishment, saw with his own eyes the lifeless aquatic creature. He describes what he saw as roughly 4'9" tall, pinkish skin, human-looking face and limbs, spikes along his head and mouth like a carp. Wow. Now that ain't your traditional mermaid, is it, y'all? That ain't your traditional mermaid, is it, y'all? He said that shit looked like Magikarp. The Pokemon. Y'all remember that shit? When he said the lips like a carp, I just imagined a Magikarp lips. I imagine a whole Magikarp head, pink ass Magikarp head, and motherfucking a pink motherfucker. That shit sounds scary as shit. He talking about they was shooting at the rocks. Nigga, I would have shot their ass. I don't jump out the water on me looking like that, motherfucker. Oh, I'm busting your ass 'cause I'm not gonna think mermaid. I'm gonna think, what the fuck is this? Mermaid will never cross my motherfucking mind. I'm gonna be like, oh hell no. Can't do it. Nah, sorry. Next testimonial. 1967, British Columbia, Canada. You ever seen that video of that nigga? Canada, Pele Pimpene. I can't ever talk about the word Canada. It just reminds me of that shit. But let's get into the British Columbia, Canada. How crazy would it be to see a real mermaid just lounging on the beach for hundreds of eyes to see? The social media exposure will undoubtedly capture every moment and be able to debunk any fakers. That was not the case back in 1967, near the main islands of British Columbia. Story goes, a ferry filled with tourists spotted a blonde-haired mermaid sitting topless on the beach eating a salmon fish and enjoying the waves splash up on her. One witness said she was attractive and had dimples. There was one photo taken of the event which does show a blonde woman with the lower half of a porpoise. I gotta check that word out. A porpoise. Porpoise for those that want to. A similar incident happened later that week with the mermaid spotting, but by that time there were plenty of skeptics who didn't believe she was real. Charles White from the Undersea Gardens financed $25,000 reward for the mermaid's capture and even offered room and board with special combs for the mermaid's pleasure. This may sound odd, but the company was desperate to prove her existence. Unfortunately, the story died soon after. Now that right there sounds like bullshit. And you know why it sounds like bullshit to me? A blonde, topless woman with dimples on the beach. But that was a lady with a costume looking for some attention, bro. I promise you. That 1967 too. Yeah, that lady, she was trying to get some. She was trying to turn some heads, and y'all fell for that shit. Y'all fell for that shit. I can't fall for no shit like that. 2009 in Israel. Let's check it out. In 2009, dozens of locals near Kiryat Yam, Israel. Is that how you say Kiryat? That's how it looked to me. Dozens of locals near Kiryat Yam, Israel have claimed to see a mermaid off the shore at the sunset. The sightings went on for some time before the local media got involved. The onlookers said the creature resembles a young girl and will often visit the beach and do tricks in the water. Eventually, the Israeli government noticed all the attention and issued a $1 million reward for anyone who could provide proof of the mermaid. This didn't include capturing it. Simply requires an authentic photo. NBC decided to do its own investigation and had a film crew stationed at Kiryat Yam Beach morning and night, above and below the water to document the mermaid. The crew claimed that late one night, they managed to spot a human figure dipping into the water, then disappearing. What the hell? The research crew did their best to pursue the mermaid, but were unable to trace its location. The footage was transferred to the Coastal Oceans Research in Los Angeles to see if it could be authenticated. Michael Schott, the census director, said that although it was impossible to unequivocally determine the figure in the footage, it still remains a viable option. This just means it could be, but can't be proven. The tourists and locals still on the lookout to prove this instance of Carry Out Young Mermaid to claim the $1 million reward. They still looking for that shit. Ain't no goddamn. Right. 2012 in Zimbabwe. Some mermaids just want to be left alone. This was the case of the Zimbabwe dam workers in 2012 who were trying to install a water pump, which was crucial to the logical agriculture. Local divers and workers were hired to see what was blocking the pump, and when they surfaced, vowed never to return. So they got scared, them motherfuckers. Pussy. Sam Sepia in Como, a water research minister, told the Senate committee that the village chiefs could perform an ancient ritual to get rid of the mermaid and calm the workers' anxiety. They still refused to return even after the ritual was performed. Being skeptical of the workers' reasons for quitting, the government hired outside help as they thought this belief was cultural. But the new workers reported the same thing and refused to finish the repairs. To this day, the dam is still not finished. And they think that's a goddamn mermaid. Huh. A violent mermaid. Ain't that some shit? Mermaid said, if y'all bring y'all ass back down here, I done told the last motherfuckers, if y'all send more niggas down here, I'm gonna fuck them up. Don't build shit else. I'm telling you. I'm telling you now. Come on down here again and see what the fuck happens to you. That's what that mermaid was saying to the niggas. Them niggas were like, you know what? I'm going home. Now look, this encounter is funny as shit, kinda. 5 years ago, posted on Reddit by Reddit user uLucky1443. Everything you think about mermaids are wrong. They are not busty women with flowing hair and thin waists. Well, they kind of are, but they are not nice. Trust me. My family owns a small lake near a body of water, green with algae in South Florida. I can't say much about the location though. All I could give is it's in Florida. So this is the United States now. This home, this the mainland, y'all. We then came back home. We was in Zimbabwe. We was in Israel. So mermaids is all over the motherfucker. They just in the water. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Technical difficulty. Hold on. Give me a second. We're about to be back. Give me. See how unfiltered I am? I post my technical difficulties because I feel like it's organic. It's organic. So where did I leave off? I can't say much about the location, although I could give it's in Florida. I live in upstate New York and decided to visit the lake house during midsummer. I was alone. The first few days were fun and sunshine. Were fun and sunshine. The notorious weather. Florida is known for that. Then the real Florida weather kicked in. the real. The storm was horrible. Thunder and all the works. But in the distance I heard it. A soft melody. High pitched. Just right. And it was enchanting. Oh shit. Now we getting to it. The voice seemed to multiply and grow louder as the storm progressed. It almost sounded like a continuous battle cry. I couldn't help but be pulled to the voices, half by curiosity and the other half by semi-hypnosis the song caused. Y'all shouldn't follow random ass voices. That's not safe. I opened the wood door to the outside, reluctantly, may I add. As I opened the door, it felt like my body was not my own. I felt like a puppet on a string, and the voices are my puppeteer. The rain pounded hard against the porch. Oh, shit. I'm sorry, y'all. I be motherfucking tripping. The rain pounded hard against the porch roof, bound by logs of wood and twine. My bare feet met the wet, cold sand, and the rain pounded against my body as I followed the voice. It leads to a moon pool that resided only a few feet from the lake. The water is rising up, and from the water and overflowing. I saw where the voices were coming from. Beautiful women sat in the pool. 3 women with long white hair. A dark-skinned, bare-chested, with scales of gray. So this one saying they was dark-skinned. Another topless one though, but this one had scales. Scales of gray, green, and red on their shoulders and cheeks. And they had piercing red eyes. Crazy thing is, he said they were beautiful women with all of this weird shit going on. They beckoned me to them singing their soft, haunting song, and I stepped into the pool and sat in front of them, my clothes becoming wet. They swarmed me, touching my chest and hair, smiling softly. Then I noticed it. Below their waists lay fish-like tails covered in scales, again gray, red, and green. They had long nails as well. When a certain mermaid brushed against my chest, my shirt ripped open from the sharpness. Damn, what the fuck? I wouldn't want them shits touching me. And something bad happened. They smiled at me with sharp blood-stained teeth, similar to piranha's teeth. Some of them even overlapped, greeting extra layers of razor-sharp teeth. I snapped out of my trance and screamed loudly. One of them pounced, scratching my face deeply with their claw-like nails. The other one sunk her sharp fangs into my shoulder, and the other grabbed my arm tightly. I hit them with all force of my arms. They growled and bared their teeth as I jumped out of the pool, almost slipping and falling against the wet sand. I rushed to the house and slammed my door, locking it tightly. I leaned against the door and cried, gripping my bleeding shoulder. I woke up the next morning thinking it was all a dream until I looked at the gashes and scar. Mermaids are not what you think. They are dangerous, and if you see one, run as humanly fast and possible away from the ocean, lakes, and do not follow songs during a storm. I could have told you that. Stay your ass in the house during a storm. What the hell wrong with you? Now see, that's the traditional mermaid story that I'm used to hearing. They hypnotize you and then boom, they got your ass. They got you. I got a couple more testimonies here. Actually, two more. And then I'm gonna draw my conclusion, and I'm gonna leave that poll for y'all. This one is on Quora. Quora, however you want to say it. I'm gonna say Quora because I'm not saying Quora. That's too much to do with your motherfucking mouth. And the author has, hold on, there's no name on this shit. No, yeah, it is. Her name is Wendy Tibbetts. So, and this is from San Francisco, another United States story. So let's get into it. The beaches I am used to visiting are the ones I grew up around. These are the beaches carved from the rugged Pacific coastline. Chilly beaches featuring big waves, driftwood, caramel-colored sands, hermit crab tidal pools, and sea lions bobbing curiously in the rough surf. It was quite the change of scenery when I moved to the warm climates of Florida to go to school. The beaches in Florida weren't anything like the beaches I grew up building sandcastles on. The endless pale sands were fine. The sea was flat and warm. The sky was white, and there were alien flowers growing everywhere. It even smelled completely different. It took some getting used to. I didn't need a vehicle to get around. I could take public transportation wherever I needed to go. This included using a water taxi, which is the same thing as a regular taxi, only you could hail one at the water's edge and would step onto a boat rather than into a car in order to get to your destination. During one solo adventure in Fort Lauderdale, I stood at the edge of the canal waiting for a water taxi to pass by, which would shuttle me to the beach. It was mid-morning and the sun was reflecting off the dark waters of the intercoastal waterway. That morning, I saw something swimming in the depths of the water, and it was moving closer. I couldn't quite make it out, with the sun obscuring my view. So I pulled off my sunglasses and shielded my eyes with the flat of my hand. I saw the tail first. It was gracefully, almost sensually fanning the water, propelling its body along slowly. There was a creature lurking about in the shallow depths. It was huge, and it freaked me out. I leaned forward as far as I could go without falling, trying to get a better look. Definitely not a sea lion. Sea lions had flippers. I had grown up seeing them basking on the dry docks of the wharf as tourists threw their table scraps to the frenzied barking melee. However, this thing was spotted a single horizontal tail, and it was unlike any of the pinnipeds I was used to seeing. They gotta stop using these words, bro. Just say fucking sea lion. What the fuck is a pinniped? And it wasn't a whale. It didn't have the customary blowhole, which are unique to cetaceans. Again, what the fuck? Just say whale. Say mammal, fish, whatever the fuck. A cetacean. That's okay. Don't overcomplicate it. And it wasn't a whale. It didn't have a customary blowhole, which are unique to cetaceans. In my young mind, the flat horizontal tail could only mean one thing. Mermaid. Definitely a mermaid. The animal passed by, and I never did get a good look at the entire thing. But from what I saw, I believed it was a mermaid. 20 years old, and I was convinced that I had been blessed to have seen a mythical creature of the deep. Days later, I was disappointed to learn it was actually a manatee. Until then, I had never heard of them before. We don't have manatees in California. I learned that they are an endangered species and that my sighting may have been rare. Last glimpse of a species on its way to extinction. Now look at that. It wasn't a mermaid at all. Now this is the last one. The craziest one. But it's strangely fucking believable. Strangely makes sense. Strange. This is on Quora as well. Author is Carl Jasanowski. Now, let's get into his story. Do I believe in mermaids? Yes. I have seen them while scuba diving on the Great Barrier Reef. However, the mermaids I have seen are not the typical mermaids most people would ever consider to be mermaids. The mermaids I have seen are mermaids. They are pre-ancestors of the future mermaids. To understand this, you must consider how evolution can and does occur. I believe that mermaids are a type of human that will exist in the future. At the present moment, there are individuals on the path towards becoming a mermaid. At the moment, you can consider them to be a prototype of a future-directed mermaid that will exist and is quite different from the typical interpretation of a mermaid. As an analogy, consider the airplane. Back in the 17th century, there were individuals who thought that one day humans would be able to fly. However, at that stage, no humans did fly. However, there was a concept that in the future people would be able to fly. There were even people like Leonardo da Vinci who draw schematic drawings of potential flying machines. However, in 1903, the Wright brothers built a prototype airplane that flew only about 100 feet. However, the prototype was studied by others and improvements were made. As soon as 1918, airplanes were rapidly evolving to meet the demands of observing the enemies during the First World War. Over a remarkable short period of time, the airplane morphed into many different types, each designed to meet specific requirements. Many of these design criteria were to meet the needs of the worldwide warfare. After the Second World War, the airplane once again evolved to meet the new requirements, that of international travel. There is very little likelihood that anyone who observed the earliest airplane prototypes or embraced the concept of human flight will have any concept to what the airplane would and could evolve into. Now let's get back to have I ever seen a mermaid? Yes, nearly on a daily basis. As a dive instructor and marine biologist on the Great Barrier Reef, I observe female dive instructors underwater. I see them leisurely swimming past totally at home in this coral reef environment. I see them stay underwater for over an hour at a time, sometimes over 3 hours a day. They are totally in harmony with their marine environment. They do have big bulky scuba tanks, dive computers strapped to their wrists, and thick wetsuits covering their bodies. However, I see them as pre-ancestors of mermaids. They are like the Wright brothers. They are in the initial stages of biotechnological evolution. They are the emergent synthesis of their biological bodies with rapidly evolving technology designed to enable them to survive underwater for a longer period of time. If you are a mermaid wannabe, believe that it is possible. Embrace the future technologies which will enable you to evolve peacefully into the ocean. Now, would you look at that? He thinks technology will allow us just to stay underwater forever without coming back up if we don't want to. That will actually be lit until it's not. I don't know. We got to think deep into that shit. It sounds nice. It does sound very appealing. It sounds peaceful as shit. But you gotta remember, at that point, we would definitely have a natural predator and it will be fucked. But it's okay. So at the end of the day, y'all heard the testimonies. All through all the decades. Do you think mermaids exist? At this point in my life, I don't know what the fuck that frog Magikarp shit was they had in the beginning, but that was something else. I don't think that is a mermaid at all. I think that was some weird ass alien shit. Gene spliced something. I don't know. But I don't think they saw a mermaid. They saw some other shit. But do I think they exist? I'm not going to say there's something out there with arms and a head and a torso don't exist in the ocean. Because that is possible. Arms, head, torso, humanoid. Mermaid, human, beautiful creature. Nah, I do believe it's a fish that probably look like that though. Tell me what y'all think. And this has been always everything with Squalor, where we discuss everything always and we always will. This is Young Squalor signing out. Until we meet again. I got some exclusive interviews coming up, and I told y'all my jingle coming up. All my links will be in the bio, in the description, and they also in the bio on my Instagram, which will also be in the description. Hit me up if you want to be a co-host. Hit me up if you want to promote some shit. Hit me up if you just want to talk some shit on the podcast. We are open. I'm open. Hit me up. Trust me. You won't believe how open I'm not like everybody else. You tell me you want to get on this podcast, you're going to be on this podcast. I keep it plain and simple. You want to promote some shit, we're going to promote that shit. Get at me now while it's the beginning. Because once I start getting a certain amount of notoriety, I'm going to... something gonna change. I ain't gonna tell you what's gonna change, but something gonna change. But get at me now. Everybody can get at me now. Everybody. I don't give a fuck who you is. You got something to talk about, we can talk about it. Deuces.